Quite a number of things are happening. It is the first day of the Devolution Conference. We do understand there was a bit of confusion with the registration of delegates from different counties. Kindly paint us a picture of what the situation is in Kakamega today.
Freddie, day one of the Devolution Conference, the fifth one since the advent of devolution, and quite a number of issues expected to come up. But as you rightly put it, there has been a bit of confusion this morning because of the registration of delegates. About 6,000 of them who are expected to converge at Kakamega High School grounds for the Devolution Conference. And of course, the organizers having a hard time because the delegates were getting impatient insofar as the process of registering them and accrediting them for the exercise is concerned. Actually, the police had to intervene and quell the situation because it was seemingly getting out of hand. But the matter now has been sorted out, and the process of registering and accrediting delegates is going on, though slowly, but at least they are patient enough to wait for the exercise to continue. That accreditation will enable the delegates access Kakamega High School tomorrow. That is about 500 meters from where the accreditation is being done at Amalemba Primary School grounds. But more importantly, let's discuss the issues that are expected to take center stage during this week-long Devolution Conference. And I'm here with the Governor of Kisumu County, Professor Anyang' Nyong'o. Karibu, Professor, in your estimation, the fifth Devolution Conference, what do you think is the most pertinent issue currently and among the governors? What are you expecting to be the most important issue for discussion?
I think the most important issue is financing devolution, both in terms of recurrent expenditure and development expenditure. When I come to development expenditure, I think we should look at very critically and afresh the public-private partnership law, because the only surest way to begin pumping money into development in counties to bring in the private sector, working together with the county governments, inspiring development. The PPP holds the key.
But of course, Governor, the national government says it has devolved over R1 trillion shillings, but seemingly they say they don't feel that money getting into the right places. The question of corruption comes in.
Well, the national government is the most corrupt institution in this country. If citizens were to say you are corrupt, you are not going to pay taxes, the national government would fold up and I don't know go where. The issue of corruption to me is something we can deal with. The Constitution provides for how to deal with the Constitution. Chapter 6 of the Constitution is very clear on the values and responsibilities of leaders wherever they are. Article 226D, I think, states very clearly that a public official is responsible for his or her actions, whether in office or outside. And therefore you can't stop sending money to counties because of the issue of corruption. The counties must definitely practice good governance. But when you don't practice it, there are ways to deal with you.
Capacity. Do you have the capacity to absorb much more money that is sent to the county government?
The capacity will come when you have the finances to build that capacity. Sometimes a chicken and egg situation. You want the chicken, but you must have the egg. For you to have the egg, you have to have the cock and the hen. So at the moment, for example, I would like to have in my office a very competent executive secretary. But the terms of service employing people makes it difficult for me to do so. But I need an executive secretary competent to make my work much more efficient. So we need to review these things. How much should an executive secretary earn? Much more than is laid down in the terms of service of people in my county. That's a public service in my county. So these things should be looked at, because by investing perhaps a few more shillings into some individuals working to counties, productivity can go up 10 times.
Thank you very much. No better way to say it. And Freddie, let me engage one more governor, that is Dr. Joyce Laboso, the governor of Bomet County. Governor, the first time since devolution, at least national government, parliament, and the governors are meeting in one sitting, because previously the national government seemingly has been boycotting, some senators have been boycotting. So at least finally you're getting it along.
I think this is really a good thing to happen to devolution. The first set of governors, or the first set of devolution leadership, both in the Senate, in the National Assembly, and even the governors, there was always this tension. And I think it was all because of the suspicion, the idea that really somebody was coming to take somebody else's job, or was gunning out for somebody else's job. I think this set of new governors, and I think even senators, everybody is almost seeing, like, each person has got their job cut out for them, you know, and that acrimony never really helped anybody, and everything was being passed with a lot of you know, acrimony and you know, accusations and counter accusations and court cases, and all of that was costing us a lot of money. So I think the new thinking is that let's focus on the development. Let's each person really you know, do the job for which they are called. Yes, maybe might have interest, others might have, and it has come out clearly. Senators, some of them, like Anyang, who's just been here, yes, they would have been interested in governor's position, and vice versa. And I'm sure even this next lot now, because remember, some of the governors that that became governors have finished their 10-year term. So, you know, there will also be the question of where do they go from here. So there will always be the issue of you know, people wanting to try out the positions of the other. But there is clearly a new development. You can see, and senators are here, and we are going to be playing with them, you know, football in a while. Also showing the fact that now there is more an amicable environment around around everybody that is working.
It will be interesting to see the position that you'll be playing in that football match. I'll be training my eyes on you. Thank you very much, Freddie. Let's now head to Buhungu Stadium, where the football match will be taking place shortly. I'll give you the scores, probably who will have scored more and who will have conceded more. Back to you.
Wow, perhaps that's one of the most interesting events of the 5th Annual Devolution Conference, that football match between governors and senators to take place in a few hours at the Bukungu Stadium in Kakamega. Of course, Francis Gashuri will keep updating us on the happenings in Kakamega as the 5th Annual Devolution Conference